Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Did you know YouTube only keeps selective videos on its platform? So if you want to make sure you get the full picture, just subscribe to our newsletter. Go to newsletter.ntd.com and sign up. It's free.
The college application season is approaching. As students are thinking about what schools they want to attend, the University of California school system recently announced it will no longer require standardized tests. NTD's Cynthia Kai spoke with some current students to get their perspective.
I'm here at the University of California, Santa Cruz. It's one of the 9 universities that will now no longer require standardized tests as part of the admissions process. The University of California Board of Regents announced on November 18th that it will permanently remove such tests. The board does not plan to adopt any alternatives in the foreseeable future. Back in May 2020, the board originally planned to remove standardized testing and to find an alternative to replace the ACT and SAT. Now, however, the board plans to keep exams out of the admissions requirements altogether. The board said the move will promote educational equity and quality. During the Thursday board meeting, Michael Brown, the UC provost, said that the UC system will also strengthen its relationship to K-12 schools to help students plan a better path to college. The UC system is the latest to join a growing number of universities that are going test-free or test-optional in their admissions processes. Reporting in Santa Cruz, California, Cynthia Kai, NTD News.
Texas Democrat Beto O'Rourke announced plans to join the state's 2022 gubernatorial race last week. In a Sunday interview, he said President Biden shows a lack of urgency on the crisis at the southern border. That's after getting asked whether he would invite the president to assist in his campaign. Let's take a look.
Hell yes, we're going to take your AR-15, your AK-47. We're not going to allow it to be used against our fellow Americans anymore.
In a Sunday interview on CNN's State of the Union show, Texas gubernatorial candidate Beto O'Rourke signaled distance from the White House in next year's state campaign. That's amid poll numbers showing just 35% of Texans supports President Biden. The former congressman criticized the president for what he called a lack of urgency in pushing to revamp Trump-era immigration laws.
I don't think we've seen enough urgency when it comes to rewriting our immigration laws to match the needs and the reality that we see, especially in our border communities.
He also blasted current Governor Greg Abbott, accusing the Republican of taking advantage of the border crisis.
We also expect more of our governor, who's using the border right now as a photo opportunity, scapegoating and vilifying immigrants, asking Texans to, quote, defend themselves and take matters into their own hands from this invasion, as he describes it.
O'Rourke announced his candidacy for governor last Monday. He set his sights on becoming the first Democrat in 3 decades to win a statewide race in Texas. His interview came after Mexican authorities reported finding 600 legal migrants hidden in 2 boxcars traveling through the Mexican state of Veracruz last Friday.
This campaign in Texas is not going to be about Joe Biden. It's not going to be about Donald Trump. It's not going to be about anyone from outside of our state.
Over the weekend, O'Rourke also reiterated his pledge on Texas gun control. It echoed an earlier statement he made during a Houston debate as he ran for president in 2020. O'Rourke said he will stand firm on that view if he's elected governor.
Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai re-emerged over the weekend. Her whereabouts have been a matter of international concern for weeks after she alleged that a top Chinese official had sexually assaulted her. But Peng's return is raising even more questions.
Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai re-emerged on Sunday amid questions related to her whereabouts and safety. But media reports about her are still subject to censorship inside China. In a video call on Sunday, Peng said that she's safe and well at her home in Beijing and asked that her privacy be respected. This, according to the International Olympic Committee. The IOC says its president, Thomas Bach, spoke to Peng for 30 minutes. Their video call was reportedly joined by 2 other individuals, including a Chinese sports official. The IOC did not publicly release the video. Human rights group Amnesty International is warning International Olympic Committee to be wary of the situation.
They should be extremely careful not to participate in any whitewash of possible human rights violations.
Akkad says China's state-run media has a track record of fabricating statements or forcing testimonies shortly after people go missing.
In the past, we have seen various similar cases where people had no option but to say what they had been told to. The call between the IOC and Peng Shuai is hardly convincing that Peng Shuai has full and genuine freedom of expression, liberty, security, and movement.
Peng's chat with the IOC wasn't her only reappearance. She also attended a tennis tournament in Beijing. She was spotted in photos published by tennis tournament China Open, the event's organizer. The editor-in-chief of Chinese state-run newspaper Global Times, He Xijin, shared footage of the tournament on Twitter. In it, Peng can be seen among guests at the Fila Kids Junior Tennis Challenger Finals, wearing a dark blue jacket and white trousers. Global Times is one of Beijing's most important media mouthpieces outside China. Peng, a former doubles world champion, had not been seen or heard from publicly since November 2nd. That's after she accused China's former vice premier, Zhang Gaoli, of coercing her into sex, noting the two later had an on-off consensual relationship. Neither Zhang nor the Chinese government have commented on Peng's allegation. Her post on Chinese social media was quickly deleted. The topic was also blocked from China's heavily censored internet. On Saturday night, He Xijin posted another video of Peng at a popular restaurant in downtown Beijing. The restaurant's manager, Zhao Hongmei, confirmed Peng's appearance there to Reuters on Sunday. World tennis bodies remain unconvinced. The Women's Tennis Association explained, "It was good to see Peng Shuai in recent videos," but added, "The clips don't alleviate or address concerns about her well-being and ability to communicate without censorship or coercion." The association also clarified that the video does not change its call for a full, fair, and transparent investigation without censorship into her allegation of sexual assault. The WTA had earlier threatened to pull tournaments out of China over Peng's disappearance.
And the founder of Theranos voluntarily took the stand in her defense starting Friday. One expert said the move may make the prosecution's job easier. We hear more from NTD's David Lamb.
Elizabeth Holmes, the founder of now-defunct blood testing company Theranos, took the stand to defend herself in a San Jose court again on Monday. She is charged with defrauding both investors and patients. Her testimony continued through Monday.
Holmes taking the stand is incredibly surprising and very risky. Most likely, Holmes is thinking that she can garner sympathy with the jury by telling her own story in her own words.
On Friday, Holmes said that her work at Theranos led her to believe in the company's technology. Creel, an assistant professor of business law, told NTD that defendants are not required to take the stand in their own cases.
As soon as you get on there and decide to talk, the prosecution gets to drill into you with all sorts of questions that can go ahead and make you look a lot more guilty than you would if you just sat there quietly.
Holmes allegedly made false claims about her company's technology. The claims include that Theranos technology could use a drop of blood from a finger prick to run diagnostic tests more quickly and accurately than conventional laboratory tests. She has pleaded not guilty to 9 counts of wire fraud and 2 counts of conspiracy.
Sometimes investors look at a deal hoping that they will see the next unicorn or the next, Uber, the large thousands of % increase in value.
Brian, an investment expert, told NTD that the concept of Theranos' technology might have seemed too good to be true. Holmes had previously been praised as the Steve Jobs of biotech. Her stardom began to fade after the Wall Street Journal published a series of articles suggesting Theranos' devices were flawed and inaccurate. Theranos had been previously valued at $9 billion. David Lamb, NTD News, California.
Over the weekend, several smash-and-grab robberies targeted businesses in Northern California. The robberies are part of the organized retail crime epidemic. Here's NTD's Eileen Ang with more details.
This Lululemon in San Jose's Santana Row is the latest victim of smash and grab. Police informed me that a group of suspects entered the store at around 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. They got away with the merchandise before police could arrive. The investigation is still ongoing.
I saw a couple girls out here by the flowers. recording the traffic. So I was thinking that maybe they were doing a recon for another mob hit over here. And then about an hour later, about 6:25, 6:30 p.m., I saw two girls dart from across the street over here, and then they dashed through here into Lululemon.
Grant was security for another store nearby. He told his store to lock up and close before heading over to Lululemon. By the time he got there, he said 8 people darted out of the store across the street to a getaway car.
And they dropped some merchandise, so I was able to recover some of it and bring it back to the store. And then I made sure that they were okay, because sometimes these gangs attack the store clerks.
Earlier that same night, a group of looters hit Southland Mall in Hayward at 5:30 p.m., breaking into Sam's Jewelers. The suspects ran off with stolen goods and fled in getaway cars. As he was cleaning his store, a spokesperson for Sam's Jewelers told us that the thieves took men's diamond rings, and gold gems. He said there were 8 to 10 people involved. They estimate a loss of $50,000 to $70,000. There were reports of Macy's getting ransacked too, but a spokesperson confirmed that the store was not impacted. Saturday saw a similar attack in Walnut Creek. In a video posted by another reporter, about 25 cars blocked the street and rushed into a Nordstrom store in Broadway Plaza. Police reported that 80 robbers entered the store at around 9 p.m. They put out warnings that evening to be prepared for the group to strike again. 2 employees were assaulted and 1 was pepper sprayed. 3 arrests have been made. On Friday night, the Louis Vuitton in San Francisco's Union Square was also robbed.
Unfortunately, it's become very easy to build a business model selling stolen goods online. And we've got to have better transparency on a lot of these online marketplaces, Amazon and Facebook, so that you can't hide behind a fake screen name and sell stolen product. Right now, it's too easy to sell stolen product online, and that's what's driving a lot of this theft.
During a press conference on Monday, Newsom said he intends to partner more closely with cities and counties to address the crimes.
We'll be stepping up those efforts in next year's budget substantially. And we have been working with cities up and down the state, including San Francisco, Walnut Creek, and others that were impacted over this weekend by these organized retail theft operations.
The weekend cases are part of a string of similarly coordinated smash and grab robberies plaguing the greater Bay Area. Last Tuesday, thieves broke into a Chinatown jewelry store in San Francisco, making off with about $250,000 in merchandise. A day before, thieves hit a store in Concord, neighboring the recently burgled Walnut Creek. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
Congressional Democrats aim to impose a new fee on methane emissions. It's in the House-passed Build Back Better bill and could be passed through the Senate as early as December. Proponents say this fee will help clean up pollution and rake in revenue to pay for other climate projects. But critics say it would lead to even higher prices on heating bills and at the pump. NTD's Melina Weiskup reports.
The new methane tax would slap a rising fee on emissions at oil and gas facilities, fines reaching up to $1,500 per ton by 2025.
I need to protect all of us from upheaval around the planet. And to do that, I believe we got to make polluters pay. We have a methane fee.
At the same time, the bill gives hundreds of millions in subsidies for companies that take steps to reduce emissions.
The more you reduce carbon emissions, the greater your tax savings.
Democrats and experts who support the proposal say it discourages pollution while helping the economy. One study by Jeffrey Rissman at Energy Innovation reports that the methane fee could increase gross domestic product, or GDP, by more than $250 billion between 2023 and 2050. However, Republicans say the fee would do more harm than good.
Theoretically, would higher taxes and increased fees and royalties cause the price of a commodity to go up?
Yes.
Thank you.
Critics argue that the new fees would lead oil and gas industries to send the price increases down to the consumer, resulting in even higher heating bills and gas prices. The Energy Secretary, when asked specifically about the potential for higher prices being passed to consumers, dodged the question, saying, quote, "I think it will incentivize the gas industry to do what they need to do, which is to tighten up. Oil and gas producers have pushed back, saying the extra tax is not needed because methane emissions are already regulated, and America is now leading the world in emission reductions." Reporting in Washington, D.C., Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
Hitting the road or taking a flight this week for Thanksgiving? This holiday is expected to be one of the busiest we've seen in a long time. NTD's Iris Tao spoke with AAA for some handy holiday travel tips.
So we're telling folks, you're going to have a lot of company on the roads this Thanksgiving.
Andrew Gross is the national spokesperson at AAA. The travel group says more than 53 million Americans are expected to travel this week, a surge nearing pre-pandemic levels. AAA expects 90% of those travelers, about 48 million, to travel by car.
We have found that no matter how high gasoline prices go, once someone has decided they're going to take a trip, they take the trip.
The current gas price is hovering near its highest point since 2014. But with many eager to reunite after skipping family gatherings last November and December, Gross says people will figure out a way to budget in for the higher cost.
Maybe they won't eat out as much, maybe they'll look for more free activities, but they're definitely going to go.
If you don't want to be stuck in traffic, though, avoid leaving Wednesday afternoon. Shoot for Tuesday or Wednesday morning.
If you're only going, say, 50 to 75 miles and you don't mind driving Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day, that's also a good time to go.
And for those who are flying, expect long lines at the airport. AAA expects 4.2 million people to travel by plane this Thanksgiving holiday, an 80% increase over last year, the highest single-year jump on record.
Listen to that parent in your head. Get to the airport early, at least 2 hours early.
The TSA says it expects to screen 20 million air passengers this week. Iris Tao, NTD News.
School children in the state of New York might soon have to be vaccinated against COVID-19. A group of parents held a silent protest against the proposed bill. NTD's Arian Pazdar has more.
In an attempt to protest a proposed vaccine mandate for school children in New York, parents could drop off a pair of shoes for every child that won't get the shot. The shoes were meant to be displayed at a local school overnight until 9:30 the next morning to show how many children would be affected by the mandate.
We tied them to our school fence on one of our main roads. On the preface that we would come back in the morning, we got clearance, we would come back in the morning, we would gather the shoes, and the shoes were going to be donated once we finished putting them at the Dennison building in Hauppauge. Our shoes were actually cut down at 6 o'clock in the morning, bagged up in garbage bags and thrown in the back of the high school.
Because the shoes were cut down, the organizers moved them to a different location at an outdoor plaza.
Our community kind of got pretty upset that the schools wouldn't allow us to just do a peaceful protest of just tying shoes to the school. A lot of people on both aisles got upset that they were cutting down the shoes when we told them they were simply going to be donated.
Claudia says that parents should be allowed to decide whether their children get vaccinated or not. Advocates of vaccine mandates for school children say vaccinated people are less likely to spread the virus if they're infected. They say this will help end the pandemic, so they believe everyone should get the shot. Arian Pastar, NTD News, New York.
Money doesn't grow on trees, but it can sometimes fall out of a truck on the freeway. That is exactly what happened in San Diego, California on Friday. We hear more from NTD's Cynthia Kai.
Dollar bills filled a Southern California freeway on Friday morning. A bag of cash fell out of an armored truck and rained $1 and $20 bills across Interstate 5, according to the San Diego Union Tribune. Authorities said the money filled the freeway around 9:15 in the morning. Now, in a viral video originally posted by Twitter user Demi Bagby and reposted by KNX News Radio, people can be seen scooping up cash from the ground. Authorities said when the truck doors popped open, bags of cash fell out and one bag broke open. According to the Washington Post, California Highway Patrol said that the truck was on its way from San Diego to a regional Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation office. Local California Highway Patrol officers said that taking the money is a crime, and anyone who took it must return it within 48 hours. Cynthia Kai, NTD News, California.
Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to catch all of our programs on TV. NTD Evening News is on every weekday at 6:30 p.m. Find your local NTD channel at ntd.com/TV.